So, how about that? Arsenal clinching a last gasp goal through the big man Olivier Giroud. Quite unbelievable scenes there to claw a point in a game which we seemed destined to lose. The minute that Wayamata goal went in about the 60th, 70th minute mark, I was thinking to myself, game over. There's no way we're coming back from this. We haven't scored against a Mourinho team since 2007, which is diabolical in itself. But away from home at Old Trafford, I mean, it's just destiny and fate that we go and lose this season upon season upon season. But to claw a point in a very difficult fixture, I mean, any team I think will struggle at Old Trafford this season. Especially in a fixture that we notoriously don't do well in, to claw a point in those circumstances and still given the spin on things, given the furthest we can be from top at the end of all the fixtures is about 4 points. I think that we've left ourselves in a very strong position by getting a point away from home at Old Trafford. Of course, looking back on these two games against United and Spurs, I would have been a lot happier if we'd have got at least 4 points from these games. But we still remain unbeaten. Mustafi has now got 13 games in the Arsenal team without losing. So a couple of fantastic achievements there. And I think we're in a very positive position now. I mean, it was a very negative performance today. We did not deserve this result in the slightest. I personally don't think we deserved a point. I don't think we even deserved a score in this game. Our only shot on target came in about the 89th minute through Olivier Giroud. In fact, it was a header. It was the only chance we created throughout the course of the match. We were very dull up top. We didn't create a lot. United were superior throughout the course of the match. I think they dominated proceedings throughout the course of this game. And as much as it hurts me to say that, as much as I do want to say Arsenal played well, we didn't, because we were diabolical through large sections of this match. The first half, I don't think it was as bad as people made out. There were spells of about 5-10 minutes where we actually had good, calm, composed possession, and those were the chances where we should have taken advantage of our dominance and asserted ourselves on this game. But we didn't. We didn't have an outlet. We didn't have someone like Olivier Giroud to make things happen for us. Ozil was very quiet in this game. Walcott struggled at times. Alexis was very isolated up top, and it didn't help that he was playing even deeper than our central defensive midfielders in Coquelin and El Nene. He constantly dropped deep to try and get the ball, and that just left us with nothing, no outlet up top whatsoever. So it was very frustrating in that sense, and we created very little. We didn't have many chances. United definitely had the better chances in that first half. Paul Pogba had a chance. Rashford got in good positions. Martial had a good chance as well. Of course, the biggest dispute was the penalty appeal from Valencia, who, just before we get into that, the elbow that he had, the little dig that he tried to put on Monreal just before he went down so easily, I mean, that's a yellow card in itself. So I don't think we can dispute that too much, the penalty appeal, because first of all, he's gone down very easily. He's committed a foul on Monreal in the build-up. In my opinion, it's not a penalty. It would have been very soft, but I have seen them given in the past. Darmian was very lucky to stay on the pitch. Couple of very questionable refereeing decisions today. And I can appreciate that the referee wants to try and keep 11 men on each side. But, I mean, in the rules of the game, Darmian probably shouldn't have finished the game. Well, he didn't finish the game. He got substituted for Daley Blind halfway through the second half. But it was frustrating that first half, because we did have spells of dominance, but we weren't able to capitalise on them. A couple of changes in the Arsenal team, quite a lot of changes actually. We saw Carl Jensen come in for Hector Bellerin, and as you would expect with Jensen, he did make a few errors in this game. I know that I praise him a lot, but he is a player that, let's be honest, is capable of making a few rash decisions. There were a few times where he let the likes of Martial and Rashford in, but for the most part, I thought he had a fairly sound game. He got forward at every opportunity. He defended quite well, as I say, did have those few mishaps, but was covered well by the likes of El Nene and Coquelin. Mustafi, I thought, got him out of jail a few times. The defence as a whole did look shaky from time to time, but it also did some very good things in terms of individuals. Koscielny was magnificent. Mustafi made some exceptional challenges. Coquelin in front of them, I think, was man of the match if it wasn't for Czech making some outstanding saves. El Nene, I thought, had a very good game as well. I mean, the Coquelin El Nene pivot, as much stick as we gave it going into the game, and I still think it was definitely the wrong decision, because it gave us no drive, it gave us no spark, and we definitely missed Cazorla in this game. We had no... I mean, even if the thing that I couldn't get my head around, as much as I love El Nene and as much as I thought he had a good game today, as much as I think he's a good player, we've bought Xhaka for 35 million, and he's a better player, as good as El Nene is. He should have started this game, because it wouldn't have made too much of a difference. In fact, it would have made a difference in a positive sense if we'd have started Xhaka alongside Coquelin. So those two should have played, and I wanted Ramsey and Xhaka to start in the midfield today. We saw Ramsey start on the left-hand side of the pitch, and he is useless. Absolutely useless there. He offers nothing to our play whatsoever, and in fact, when he did come into the centre towards the end of the game, he still offered very little. So his inclusion in the starting 11, I know I'm being a bit of a hypocrite, because I did say I wanted him to start this game. it is highly questionable in my opinion. So yeah, Ramsey didn't help us out too much in this game. The only thing that he did that was noteworthy was laughing in Mourinho's face. So hats off to Ramsey for that. But I do hope his form picks up because we know he's a quality player. Maybe it's just a case of the team didn't have a good game. So I can't scapegoat anyone because, as I say, Alexis, Ozil, Walcott didn't have particularly good games either. But I just think Wenger's got to look at Ramsey and think, look, this is what the third, fourth season now we're trying to play Ramsey on the wing. It offers us nothing. We're doing better off playing a Iwobi on the flank if we were going to do that. We should have played someone that's naturally gifted at playing in that position, which Aaron Ramsey certainly isn't. And to line up so defensively with Coquelin and El Nene was pointless in my opinion, because this was a United side that had a piss poor defence in many ways. Phil Jones, Marcus Rojo, Darmian, Valencia was actually superb in this game, so fair play to him. But their defence was shocking and definitely one to be got at. If we'd have started this game in the manner that we did against Chelsea, if we'd have started with the intent and the drive and the spark that we had in that game, then I think we'd have been coming out of this game with 3 points to our name. But we didn't do that. We sat back. We were submissive. Wenger, he looked at that lineup, said to me that he was a bit scared of losing this game, and he'd have settled for a point rather than having to sacrifice all three. So I think that's a very negative attitude to go in, and that rubbed off on the players today. We should have gone in with a bit of spark in midfield. We should have started Xhaka in the absence of Santi Cazorla, who we're desperately missing at the moment. Of course, we are going to lose a little bit of drive with Hector Bellerin out because he offers so much to our attacking play. But I think that lineup as a whole was negative, and I just can't get my head around why we didn't start this game with a little bit more impetus. And we sat back and we let United dominate us for large spells of this match. But going into that second half, that was when Arsenal looked particularly poor. We could tell in about the 50th, 55th minute that changes needed to be made. Everyone was crying out for a change to be made. The obvious one for me was to bring on Olivier Giroud, possibly for a midfielder, which we did. We took off El Nene. I don't know if that was the right decision. Personally, I would have maybe taken off Ramsey because he wasn't playing particularly well. Move Alexis to that left-hand side and then play Giroud through the middle. But we decided to take off El Nene, who was one of the better players in this game, I should add. But I mean, that change should have come before we went 1-0 down, which I haven't got onto yet. And absolutely, you could tell it was coming because United were bombarding our defence. Rooney had a very positive impact on their side when he came on. Looked very fired up. Valencia was getting forward at every opportunity. Marcus Rashford and Martial were causing us... Well, Martial actually came off, but Rashford was certainly causing us problems. But yeah, it was a really poor goal to concede. Just a really simple cutback to Juan Mata, who, with a level head and a cool finish, passed Petr Cech to make it 1-0 to the hosts. But yeah, we responded well by bringing on Xhaka, Giroud and Oxlade-Chamberlain. But those substitutions, if we'd have made them in the 55th minute, if we'd have defended a little bit better, then, we could have still been battered for that second half, but we still could have come away with a 1-0 win. So that's the frustration there. We could have got a goal sooner. We could have changed the pattern of this game, but we had to wait and wait and wait and wait out for us to go 1-0 down until we made the substitutions. And in my opinion, Wenger got it completely wrong in that sense. He should have brought those substitutions on as soon as he saw things weren't working, because everyone else could see it apart from him. So I think Wenger's got it wrong, and I will say when he's got it wrong, he definitely did in that instance for me. But we did respond well. Oxlade-Chamberlain making that cracking little move down the right-hand side, completing one of very few crosses that he completes. I mean, he probably won't complete another one for a couple more seasons now, but fair play to him. I mean, he got the cross in for Alexis Sanchez's goal against Sunderland a couple of weeks ago. Fantastic pinpoint cross onto the head of Olivier Giroud today, who made it 1-0. The celebration just says everything you need to know about Olivier Giroud in this moment in time. The arrogance, the swagger. He knows that he deserves a starting berth in this team, and in my opinion, he should have started this game today. Would have been a different result if he had. We should be starting, in my opinion, our strongest front three could potentially be Walcott, Giroud, and Alexis Sanchez, with Mesut Ozil playing in behind. That could work dividends for us, but as we've seen, Iwobi, Alexis, Walcott, that plays well. But I mean, if we're going to start playing Aaron Ramsey on the right-hand side, it's just, it's going back to the same old, same old. We can't be doing that. We cannot be doing that. The argument would be that front four that we started with today was the front four that beat United 3-0 at home last season. But, I mean, with the lack of Santi Cazorla in the team, it just looks nullified. It looks like there's no drive, no spark in the team. So, for me, we've got to start playing Olivier Giroud in games. Alex Iwobi, to see him not even make it into the game at any point today, what does that say about his inclusion in the team going forward? I mean, I think we are still in a good position. As I say, the furthest we can be from top is 4 points. And we've played Liverpool at home, albeit we lost that game. We played Spurs, we played Chelsea, we played United, played Burnley away from home. A lot of tricky fixtures. And the only other team that I think we're going to struggle against this side of the year is going to be Manchester City away from home. And I even think, given the way they've been playing at home, we've got the potential to go there and nick 3 points. So, I mean, let's not get overconfident. We're still in a good position. This November hasn't as been disastrous as people have been making out. We should have got the win against Tottenham last weekend. One of these teams was there for the taking, but we've just been incredibly negative going into these games. We've got to learn from them, and we've got to be a bit more positive going forward. With the return of Santi Cazorla imminently, you would hope that should bring a bit more driving force to this Arsenal side. And one player that I actually thought we really could have done with today is Jack Wilshere. Player that I think would have made all the difference in the situation that we found ourselves in today. We can't be lining up with Coquelin and El Nene away from home in games. We've got to be going for the win. So, yeah, 1-1, given the circumstances. I'm delighted with that. I actually am. But again, you know, in a couple of hours it was thinking that we should have been claiming all 3 points. But yeah, as I say, in a strong position, not been a disastrous weekend. We can sit back now. My week hasn't been ruined, thankfully. And we can see how the rest of the Premier League unfolds. Anyway, guys, please do drop a like on this video. If you have enjoyed it, leave your thoughts on the game in the comment box below. And as always, I'll be speaking to you very, very soon.